The El Paso County Land Development Code was established to facilitate orderly growth and development in unincorporated El Paso County, thereby preserving the value of private property while ensuring the construction of public infrastructure needed to serve newly developed areas. El Paso County Development Services is responsible for the administration and enforcement of the Land Development Code.
Development Services is here to provide you with information as to what's available to you under your zoning, or maybe a potential compatible zoning for the use you're looking to do, but also take you through the process from start to finish in terms of getting your entitlements, which may require rezoning, may require subdivision, all the way to actual construction.
By their very nature, development review and zoning and code enforcement are somewhat complex.
The engineering section of Development Services reviews drawings that are submitted as part of the subdivision process. The engineer section is primarily interested in the drainage and roads on a subdivision.
Right now we're looking at meadows at Lorson Ranch, filing 4. This is one that's currently under construction.
This is what it would look like on paper with individual lots for future homes. And then what you see up in there in the field is what it looks like in progress. And then the finished product would look like what you see in the background there.
Today there's actually quite a bit of activity going on out here. We're paving phase 1 and phase 2 of this filing. They're still putting in utilities in phase 3.
Most of us want to be able to do what we want on our property, but we also want someone to call when our neighbor's property becomes a junkyard.
We receive citizen complaints. We have neighbors who may complain. We have rights of individual citizens. We have the community at large to be protected.
El Paso County Code Enforcement Officers enforce zoning and land use codes. Their mission is to protect the value of private property throughout the county.
They may be running an auto repair business from this property as well. But I won't know that until the owner responds to the notice of violation, which will be sent out today.
Nearly all of their investigations are as a result of complaints from neighbors worried about unsafe, unsightly, and incompatible activities in their neighborhoods. The most common complaints involve violations of county ordinances related to the accumulation of rubbish, weeds, and wrecked or inoperable vehicles.
Complaints are given to us. We go out in the field and take pictures of the property and see if the complaint is warranted. We come back in, and if the complaint's warranted, we start a file and send out a notice of violation.
If a property owner fails to respond to the notice of violation, it is presented complete with pictures of the problem to the Board of County Commissioners during an open public meeting on the second Tuesday of the following month. This is an opportunity for the property owner in violation to come and explain why his or her property is not in compliance with the code. It's also an opportunity for neighbors to come and explain to the commissioners why the violation is threatening the values of surrounding neighborhood properties. Frequently, the property owner in violation will come to the commissioners and promise to correct the situation, and will be given extra time to do so. But if the violation continues, the Board of County Commissioners will authorize the county attorney to go to court to seek a civil judgment against the property owner to pay for the necessary cleanup.
Most of our complaints are received anonymously from next door neighbors or a member of the community where the violation originated.
Most violations are cleaned up through voluntary compliance.
People respond, of course, in different ways. The majority of the homeowners respond in a positive way. Some are apologetic that they've let the property get to the condition that it's in. Then, of course, there are a few that are still, there's nothing wrong with the property, and it's, that's the way it's going to stay. But for the most part, people are apologetic and they want to come into compliance.
But a troublesome few become chronic.
The whole entire property was covered with the copper out of TVs, mattresses, furniture, anything and everything you can imagine was thrown in the backyard of this property, and it took us years to get this property cleaned up.
The property owner was billed for the cleanup. If he doesn't pay, the county treasurer can place a lien on the property.
I received a complaint on this property yesterday for rubbish and operable vehicles, and what I'm doing now is seeing if the complaint is warranted, which it is, and taking pictures of the property. It looks like there's a lot of rubbish, Inoperable vehicles, there's a vehicle with the hood up.
Of course, the good neighbor policy is always the best policy. But when trash, weeds, old tires, and junk cars get out of hand, you can contact code enforcement.
Something important for all property owners moving, whether having lived here for a long time or moving into El Paso County, before you do anything, you need to go on the county website and look and see what in our use tables, what you can and can't do on your property, because even though a lot of our complaints are for rubbish and weeds, we do get a lot of complaints for illegal businesses where the property owner did not check ahead of time, went ahead and started a business that is illegal in that particular zone district. Had they checked or contacted our department, we could have told them, and it saves a lot of headache for the property owner.
From early assistance to formal presentations at the Planning Commission and the Board of County Commissioners, the Development Services staff is here to help.
Growth was strong before the Depression or recession or whatever you want to call it. Growth tapered off substantially. We've had a number of issues with prior approvals or old subdivisions that have gone bad, or old developments that have gone bad, with people walking away from property that creates neighborhood concerns and neighborhood problems. In 1 minute you'll be dealing with traffic impact fees, and the next minute you'll be dealing with fire code, and the next minute you'll be dealing with landfills or solid waste issues or zoning violations or complaints or new development. And every day is a brand new challenge with many different things to deal with. The Development Services Department is here to serve the needs of the citizens, the applicants, the affected parties, the elected officials, and the county as a whole.
We are constantly doing revisions to our land development code.
This department and the county as a whole has gone through a number of changes over the last 10 years. We've experienced creation of regulations to address issues that had never come up before in the past.
You never know what the next use is going to be that comes through the door, and you have to be ready for that. And if you're not ready for it, you have to know how to respond to it.
Development Services responded to the needs of citizens trying to rebuild after the disastrous Black Forest fire by working with the Board of County Commissioners to temporarily relax some of the modern development standards and requirements that would be very difficult to meet in an area like Black Forest, which was originally developed from grazing land a century ago in the form of summer cabins and part-time retreats.
And that occurred as early as the 1920s. After the fire occurred, the ability to rebuild those houses meeting modern standards was a real challenge. It was very important to the Board of Commissioners to make the people whole as much as they can because they've been damaged so severely. The Board of Commissioners, at our recommendation, relaxed certain development requirements. Those helped facilitate reconstruction in a more timely manner for houses that were located in Black Forest.
The unique thing about El Paso County is that we have so much variety in terms of the types of development that come into El Paso County.
As a government entity, we're primarily interested in ensuring that what is constructed that will later be taken over by the taxpayers for maintenance is constructed properly.
El Paso County is pro-development, but at the same time we want to make sure that it's done correctly and that it follows the rules that are in place. And the reason why the rules are in place is to protect the public health, safety, and welfare. That's why we do what we do.
The land use and planning functions of the Development Services Department are frequently confused with the building permit and construction code functions of the Pikes Peak Regional Building Department. Both are located in the Pikes Peak Regional Development Center at 2880 International Circle.
The regional building handles the structural parts of the construction process. That also includes floodplain management. They handle addressing through enumerations. We look at things through use-specific regulations. We're trying to make sure that, if you want to do a commercial development, that you have enough parking, that you're installing appropriate landscaping, that your signage meets our sign code. So we're looking at more of the use issues rather than the structural issues like regional building does.
Most likely, if you're building a new home or commercial structure, you would need to go to both DSD and regional building. Development Services would review your site plan for access, setbacks, and zoning compliance, while regional building would review your construction plans for building codes and fire and electrical code compliance.
And certainly, there is no set of regulations that applies across the board to any development. No two properties are created the same, so we have to understand that and work with that as we go through the review process. But ultimately, we're here to help not only developers but also residents to help them understand the development process and take those developments from start to finish.
For more information on Development Services, go to the homepage at elpasoco.com. Then click on the word County Offices in the bar below the banner picture. From there, you will select County Administrative Services and then Development Services.